Sun Wukong heard the sound of its struggle and said to Zixia, "I can still hear it struggling, and the next one to be chewed up could be you. This sound will seep into your dreams at night, and yet you can still have a beautiful dream about the coming year. You might not have a tomorrow at any moment." Zixia replied in terror, "Let me go. You look so frightening." Sun Wukong continued, "You stay on the tree, never daring to fall into a deep sleep, always alert to unusual noises. You worry that when you open your eyes, you'll see a gaping mouth ready to devour you. Your body is always ready to spring into action to escape or fight. Each night feels endless, until the first light of dawn touches your eyelids, and you think to thank heaven and earth for surviving another night. For the day you've earned, you want to jump and shout, stuff everything you can find into your mouth. But night comes quickly again, and you haven't even had time to make a friend. You think you've had enough, but you can't stop living. You fear life, yet you fear death, and you don't know why you live each day like this. Oh, now you know why I wanted to be a god." With that, Sun Wukong let go, dropping Zixia. Zixia said confusedly, "But you already have great powers." Sun Wukong reminisced, "It's useless. When I was young, my greatest wish was to defeat the male monkey on the opposite tree who always stole my food and me. When I finally could defeat him, I found he was already old. But I still gave him a thorough beating because that's how the world is. After I defeated all the monkeys in my tribe and became the king, I found my daily task was to stand on the treetop observing the tracks of tigers, bears, and leopards and then shout, 'Do you know what it feels like to be chased by a leopard?' I was running out of breath. Cough, cough." Sun Wukong clutched his throat, looking pained. "Damn. I thought I had forgotten all this." Zixia grabbed Sun Wukong's clothes and shook them urgently, saying, "Go on. I really want to hear." Sun Wukong continued, "I didn't want this. I've seen my kind die after revelries. I don't want the sun to set but always watch the sunset disappear bit by bit. I don't understand why other creatures can be at peace. One day I suddenly had an idea. Is there anyone who can escape? Is there anyone? So I went overseas to learn skills. I learned the 72 transformations. I asked my master if I could be fearless from now on. That old scoundrel just kept shaking his head and laughing. It made me want to hit him. When I returned, I found that nothing could hurt me anymore. I was so happy I was going crazy. But the good times didn't last long that day." Sun Wukong suddenly stopped talking. His eyes fixed forward. Zixia saw a strange light in them, like terror and like hatred. Sun Wukong gritted his teeth and said, "Why? Why does this world need gods? Why does the life and death of all things under heaven have to be controlled by them?" Zixia asked puzzledly, "Because all things in the world were created by them?" Sun Wukong said angrily, "But I wasn't. I sprang from a stone. I am born of heaven and earth. No one has the right to control my life and death. Whether it's the king of hell or the Jade Emperor." Zixia asked in surprise, So you destroyed the underworld?" Sun Wukong sneered, the laughter sounding more like a sob. "I erased my name from the book of life and death, and removed all creatures from the 9 realms from the register so all beings could live forever, and the world was full of vitality, thinking we could live without worries. But I didn't expect." Zixia asked curiously, "What?" Sun Wukong said heavily, "It turns out that things that gods can't control all have a name. They are called demons." Zixia's heart trembled. Hearing gods talk about demons, she had only thought of them as evil monsters, but she didn't realize it meant this. Sun Wukong continued, "Gods can't tolerate the existence of beings in the world that can govern their own fate." He stopped there, thought for a moment, and turned to leave. Zixia grabbed his arm. Then, was it the 100-year war between gods and demons? The heavenly court couldn't kill you, so they made you a god? But those demons... Sun Wukong sighed. "You've seen it. The heavenly court has promised not to kill them, but the flower fruit mountain has been destroyed by war. Not a single blade of grass remains, Now it's just a hell on earth. Xixia asked with concern. So you're just leaving them like this? Sun Wukong said helplessly. I made a mistake, and that was making them immortal. I can't save them. I think you've seen the strange birds over Flower Fruit Mountain. Xixia lowered her head in silence, and when she looked up again, Sun Wukong had disappeared. In the 11th chapter, Sun Wukong escaped from the peach garden and arrived at the square in front of the heavenly palace, muttering to himself, "Finally got rid of that girl. She's so annoying. Why is she so annoying?" A voice called out, "Sun Wukong? Aren't you Sun Wukong?" Sun Wukong looked closely and saw a head hanging from a pillar. He asked, "Who are you?" The head replied, "I was originally an old demon from Red Pine Mountain, beheaded for rebelling against the Jade Emperor, and hung here. I didn't expect to meet the... I've heard a lot about you, often listening to stories of your defeats of the heavenly troops. It's really awesome. I also want to be like you." Sun Wukong said coldly, "So now you're just a head." The head said firmly, "So what? So what? I'm not afraid." "You're not afraid. I'm not afraid. I can still glare at them with my eyes." Sun Wukong reminded, "Eyes can be gouged out." The head said without fear, "Then I'll curse them with my mouth." Sun Wukong continued, "Mouths can be sealed." The head remained firm. That's more troublesome, but as long as I'm alive, they can't stop me from thinking." Sun Wukong mused, "Yes. No one can stop me from thinking what I want." The head said excitedly. Sun Wukong corrected, I'm the great sage equal to heaven." The head said, "It's all the same. Hero, are you here to smash this heavenly palace?" The head said, his eyes lighting up, "Unfortunately, I have no hands or feet. Otherwise, I would definitely help you." Sun Wukong said impatiently, "Don't call me a hero. I'm the great sage equal to heaven. You talk too much, just die quickly." Sun Wukong left the demon's head behind. Returning to the peach garden, he heard voices talking. The voice of Juling came, "Xixia, you stay here every day. Go back quickly." Xixia replied firmly, "I like where I stay. What right do you have to control me?"